He was known as the DWI King, making hundreds of drunk driving arrests for the state's largest police force before his name was connected to the ongoing federal DWI corruption investigation. Tonight, KRQE investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhart shows you how this is impacting recent drunk driving cases and how much the officer is getting paid to stay off the force.
How much you had to drink today?
Known for cracking down on drunk driving in New Mexico, this state police sergeant
I love this uniform. I like serving the public.
held a long reputation for holding people accountable.
You'll be included in the arrest for DWI.
Toby Lafave's own cameras capture his hundreds of arrests over the years.
Hey there.
The so-called DWI King joined the force more than 20 years ago and was featured on billboards for the state's End DWI campaign.
By the time someone is arrested for DWI, it's not usually their first time. It's just the first time they get caught, right?
So the idea Lafave was a straight shooter, one who upheld the law and kept the streets safer, made it all the more shocking when his name got tied to the ongoing federal investigation into the state's biggest DWI corruption scandal, a scheme where officers were working with a now disgraced defense attorney accepting cash to get DWI cases dismissed. Lafave's name was placed on the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Giglio list in February, joining more than a dozen other law enforcement officers who are no longer considered credible witnesses in court. It's all part of the pending federal investigation into officers participating in the corruption scheme.
If you're betrayed by a stranger, it's like, well, that's that person. What can you do? But then it hurts a lot more. It stabs you a little bit deeper when it's someone that you should be able to trust with these cases.
District Attorney Barbara Romo is responsible for prosecuting cases in Cibola, Valencia, and Sandoval counties. But without an arresting officer's testimony, a conviction, especially in a DWI case, isn't possible.
We can't prosecute any of his cases where he's the primary officer.
I've been doing this a long time, so you think that you've seen it all, but then something like this happens and you realize that you haven't.
State Police Chief Troy Weisler told us in February he got a call from the FBI and immediately placed Lafave on administrative leave. The pending cases Lafave handled were automatically dismissed with no consequences for the accused.
I've never been to jail, please, sir.
This driver admitted to drinking and driving in December.
I drink, sending my kids to school. I need to find somebody to contact my father because, honestly, he's probably super mad at me.
What could have been a harsh lesson for this young mom,
At least you're alive, you know?
is now a lucky break. It's a similar story again and again.
Okay, well, I'd rather you be late for curfew than me scrape your body up off the roadway because someone chose to drive drunk.
Dozens of Lafave's recent encounters with apparent drunk drivers,
Can I ask where my speed limit was going?
121.
many of them young,
How much you had to drink?
I only had a shot.
recently amount to dozens of free passes in court.
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
Take this traffic stop he made in September.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
I'm trying to catch up to you. You actually reached a speed of 98 miles an hour.
The teenage driver he stopped from flying on the freeway fails field sobriety tests.
Starting with the letter H, as in Henry, stopping at the letter R as in Robert.
I can't do that.
You can't do that test? Why not?
Wait, H?
Start at H and stop at R.
I can't.
Why not?
I've never had to count backwards by H.
Okay. One, you're not counting. You are reciting the alphabet forward.
Lafave arrests her for DWI. Cuffed in the back seat, the teenage driver gives him attitude.
Yeah, automatically dismissed. How do you?
Dismissed.
I ain't gonna get charged with.
As fate would have it, she was right, but not because she proved to anyone that she wasn't driving drunk that night. It's a glimpse of the nearly 40 pending DWI cases prosecutors were forced to drop due to Lafave losing credibility. Hers is among the 7 case dismissals that reach beyond the metro.
Yeah, it doesn't send a good message, but by the same token, I can honestly say that the vast majority of law enforcement officers I've worked with across the state, they're out there doing their job, and I guarantee you, they hate this more than anybody.
Lafave is still on admin leave pending the federal and now internal investigation by state police. KRQE Investigates confirmed through public records the sergeant is still making a $54 an hour paycheck on leave. So far, paid more than $39,000 and counting to stay off the streets. And while we've seen officers criminally charged in this scheme, the feds so far have not charged Lafave. His long-standing crusade cracking down on drunk drivers now clouded with questions about his own conduct. Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
In Bernalillo County, we've seen nearly 300 forced case dismissals as a result of officers losing credibility in court. State police tell us their internal investigation into Lafave is ongoing.